Hello, beautiful souls of light and deliberate creation. Welcome aboard to the Abraham Hicks Scandinavian Cruise Experience, a journey through breathtaking landscapes and even more breathtaking realizations. In this video, we're diving into the most powerful takeaways from the Abraham Workshop 1 that took place aboard the ship. From quantum leaps in understanding vibration to real-time breakthroughs on alignment, worthiness, and joyful manifesting. This cruise was more than a getaway. It was a frequency reset. Whether you were there in person or tuning in from home, these insights are timeless. So grab your favorite beverage, get comfy, and join us in the vortex as we explore the most potent moments from this life-changing voyage. Hi everyone! Today is our third day of the cruise, but I thought I'd do a quick video to discuss the workshop yesterday. Yesterday was our first workshop, and I wanted to talk about 3 takeaways and share that with you that I got at the workshop. The first one was a gentleman went up there and talked about bees. He was a beekeeper, and he mentioned how he had an incident where he had an infection or something with his eye, and the bee stung it, and he'd had it for weeks and was in pain, and the bee randomly stung the side of his face, and then it somewhat cured his situation. So his question was, how did that happen? And so basically what Esther said was the bees are living their own agenda. They're doing their own agenda to survive and do whatever they do. And he happened to be in the proximity of the bee with the intention or the manifestation that his eye would get better. He didn't know that the bee would make his eye get better, nor did the bee have the intention to make his eye get better. But the universe or your guides, they are putting the components together so that the bee stung his eye and helped his manifestation. But again, it's not that the bee is in on his manifestation. He was just a cooperative component, is how Esther worded it. So I thought that was super interesting. And at the beginning, it was okay, sort of like, of course, right? That's obvious. But actually, she went a little bit further and said that, we think that everything that's happening is only for our benefit. Like everyone is creating our reality. However, it's actually that you are creating your reality by your thoughts and words and actions, right? So your feelings. And if you are able to create that manifestation, whatever is available to help that sort of come to fruition happens. And it's not that it's like the universe is aligning for you. It's that you are in alignment, and whatever is around you, the universe enhances and brings into your path so that your manifestation can come to fruition. It's not as if they are in alignment with your manifestation. It's that you're in alignment with your manifestation, and that's what brings the cooperative components your way to make your manifestation come true. So it kind of sounds like the same thing, talking in a circle, but when you really think about it, it's really different, right? It's not that we're the center of the universe. Our manifestation and our desire is the center of our universe, and we cooperate with our environment to make our manifestation happen, either positive or negative. So I thought that was really interesting, because sometimes people feel like, oh, they have no control, right? They have no control over the situation. However, based on your manifestation and what you're wanting and saying and feeling of manifesting, will be what cooperative components come your way to make that happen. So anyway, that was takeaway 1. And my second takeaway, there was a doctor who went up there and talked about manifesting And he said, his whole idea of manifesting was he wanted to pass the test, right? Whatever he needed to do to become a doctor. And after he did that, it was kind of like, okay, now what, right? He accomplished the big thing. Now what? He doesn't know what to manifest next. And I thought the answer to this was super interesting also. Esther said that we're manifesting all the time, right? So whether you're manifesting having a good conversation or a great dinner or whatever you're manifesting, your energy, your thoughts, your words, your feelings are always manifesting. But when the things that come to you are smaller, right? So maybe you wanted a steak and poof, a steak appears, right? Someone offers you to go to dinner and you have a steak and that's what you wanted to manifest or that's what you thought of having and it comes quickly. It's because there's less resistance. So the less resistance, in a way, the quicker it comes to you. It can come to you because there's less resistance. And the more we want it, the more grasping energy we have, the longer it takes because there's more resistance that we have to work through. So I thought that was really interesting. And her example to that was when you plant a seed in the ground and you are waiting for it to sprout. So maybe this is a longer manifestation, right? Your idea is you're planting this seed so you get a tomato once it comes to fruition. So you plant the seed with anticipation it will sprout. And then it sprouts and you're like, hooray, right? There's evidence to my faith that this manifestation will come true. The plant gets bigger and same, right? More evidence that your manifestation is coming and that your faith is worthwhile. And then one day the tomato comes and your manifestation comes to fruition. So adding to that, because we know the process of planting a tomato, it requires less faith because if you plant the seed and it germinates, it'll sprout and hopefully eventually become a tomato plant. But you don't need to have blind faith, right? Because from past evidence it happens. So this is how manifestation works. And really, we manifest every day our thoughts, our words, and our feelings, whether it's what we want or not. That's the thing of it, right? We want to manifest what we want to manifest and not what we don't want to manifest. But having the least resistance about it makes it come quickly versus, the bigger, what we would say, more milestone things could take longer if there's more resistance. But we just need to know that it's coming and keep going in that direction. So I thought that was really a good reminder that although, for example, that doctor felt like, what am I going to manifest next, right? It was a good reminder that it's not that you're always consciously manifesting. You're manifesting every day, whether you think you're manifesting or not. And although he didn't have a big desire of something he wanted to manifest, it's all the little signs that come to you along the way that are sort of like the spice of life, right? So life is that way, right? When you look at it as an adventure and say, what are we going to find today? It's super fun. Anyway, third takeaway was a lady went up there and asked about meditation. And she was like, when she meditates, she doesn't feel like she does it correctly because she feels like she has an out-of-body experience and whatever. And she was wondering, what is she doing wrong, basically? So Esther started talking about when she and Jerry first started meditating, that it was really like a weird experience where they actually were in the same room, but sort of, divided themselves off from each other so they wouldn't have to see each other trying to meditate because they felt like it was so unusual. And, they were logical business people and, so it just felt a little woo-woo. So they kind of even did it in private next to each other and they were able to manifest. And she said, after a while it became so natural. And because Esther did not have as much resistance as Jerry, she was able to manifest and connect with Abraham a little bit easier because, sort of like the example before, she had less resistance. So I thought that was really interesting. And she said that when we meditate, we feel awkward, right? If you've never meditated before, like, oh, am I doing it right? And she said that your mind often will wander, right? So you start thinking about, oh, your agenda, or worrying about this, or thinking about that. And that is basically you releasing all of the energy of those things in this moment so you can bypass them or get beyond them to get to that energetic state of meditating. And once you've, had all those thoughts, refocus your mind on your breath and meditating. Another thought comes, you might have to refocus again on your thought and meditating. And then eventually it clears out, and then you can get into the true alignment and place of connection with your higher self, with your guides. And that's basically the point of connection, or, for some people it's ecstasy, whether it's physical ecstasy or just a mind-body connection. Esther said for her, it felt like shooting up into orbit, right, into space, and you're just flying high. Whatever it is for you, it's totally natural, but it's having the fortitude, right, to continue the meditation practice to the point where you can get beyond your conscious mind and ego trying to keep putting all those thoughts in your head to the next level, which is really connection, which for you might feel like ecstasy or high flying, or for me it's often just a lifting up, like almost like having an astral projection, that feeling of being out of your body and just being able to see infinitely. That's kind of how it is for me, but for you it could be different. The main thing is to just keep doing it, and you're not doing it wrong. However you're doing it for yourself is perfect for you, but just keep doing it, right? Just keep practicing, and you might not have that alignment feeling right off. It might take a while for you to be able to release all of the things in your mind, but just keep practicing day by day, and eventually you'll have that connection. And with that connection, I personally feel, she didn't talk about this in the seminar, but I personally feel once you have that connection, manifesting becomes easier because you know what it feels like to not have the resistance of all the crap that you worked out during this meditation. So again, sort of tying into the previous takeaway, it's the less resistance you have and the more allowing that you have, the quicker or easier the manifestation will come to fruition. So by meditating or learning to meditate beyond the state of all the gunk, just getting to the connection state, it really helps your ability to manifest what you want, because you are in direct alignment and you can then hear the messages, right? You can just then feel what's correct. You can then walk into a room and say, oh, who do we want to meet today? Like, what message do they have for us? And life just becomes an adventure, right? It becomes like an Easter egg hunt, right? Like, ooh, what great insight is coming toward, what I want to create, right? What connection. And it really is, even from the first takeaway I had about the bees, right? Everyone has their own orbit or manifestation that's going on. It's just that when you are in alignment and you can put yourself in the orbit of someone else and it comes into alignment, then you become a cooperative component to each other's manifesting. And really, that is the best part of this cruise, is that all the other participants that are here with that same vibration, with that same elevation of being open to being in alignment themselves and helping each other, perhaps in manifesting and forwarding and just becoming a component to each other's manifestation. So anyway, that was the first day, first workshop. There's 3 more. There's 4 workshops on this cruise. And I hope you're enjoying these Abraham workshop takeaways. Mahalo! And there you have it, some of the most moving, mind-expanding, and heart-opening teachings from the Abraham Hicks Scandinavian cruise. These takeaways are more than notes from a workshop. They are vibrational touchstones to return to again and again. Let them remind you that your inner being is always guiding you, and joy really is the key to everything you desire. If something resonated deeply with you, please comment below and share your favorite takeaway. We'd love to hear how the teachings of Abraham are lighting up your path. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And also hit that bell so you don't miss a moment of expansion. Until next time, get happy, stay aligned, and remember, the universe is always conspiring in your favor. Have a fabulous day. Mahalo!